Have you ever read a book and thought, well, that was kind of pointless? The Origin of the Crabs. The third installment in the Crabs series by Guy N. Smith. It is the prequel to Night of the Crabs. Here we go. The plot! On Lake Merce, something is hiding deep in the bogs. At first, only 2 men and their dog go missing. With those turn of events, one of the missing men's brother, John, begins to piece together the truth. Even with the layered of the preserve covering everything up, some things cannot be stopped. Despite what I said in the intro, the book is well written, engaging, has good characters, violence and blood, and as well as some good atmosphere. Guy N. Smith is a superb writer. Even though his books are very pulpy, he makes use of creating a fun story with intense scenes of action and characters you actually care about, or want to read more of because of how devious they are. The first character we are introduced to is Freddie Law. He is a poacher who stumbles across a CUS. Crab of unusual size. From there, not even the town priest will help him or believe him. John Ryland is the main character. He's the good guy. I wouldn't say he's a hero because he never really solves anything besides finding out that there are indeed massive killer crabs about. Christine Blacklaw is kind of a weird character. She starts off with Bruce McKechnie, the preserve layered, and says she was into him for the money. Then John Ryland comes around, and she forgets her morals entirely. Speaking of Bruce McKechnie, what a weird last name. What a slime bag. This sod is a bastard through and through. He only cares about himself and no one else nor their safety. While basically taking place in a swampy marsh with quicksand and an ocean nearby, it all provides plenty to add to the foggy atmosphere. In fact, they say the sun doesn't appear for numerous days from the start of the book until it shines through the gray sky. There are some action sequences here that are quite intense. A hotel is attacked and burned to a cinder. A man is basically forced out of his destroyed vehicle in order to be torn apart. Unfortunately, there are some problems I feel I should be addressing. The book sort of just stops telling one story about as abruptly as continuing with another one for about 10 pages. We learn a great deal about the character in the last pages, and it was all for nothing. I get that it connects to the first book, but here's the thing. Why did we need this? It was more scary not knowing anything about their origin. Hell, we don't even learn that much about them. Something about a Russian submersible bleeding something into the lock, but that's about it. I do like the fact that they incorporate the Loch Ness Monster into the equation. With Loch Ness being so close, it's a good assumption for the characters, even if it ends up being just the crabs. And of course, the crabs attack and nobody lives to find out or tell anyone that they're coming. It's a prequel, of course that's gonna happen. Still, I do have to give major props to the book in some magnitude. The gore! With a body count of 13, there is a lesser amount of destruction and mayhem for sure. Still, people are sliced up, mauled, mutilated, and have their innards slurped up. It's nasty stuff. The crabs are vicious and always have been. I am glad to see they still got it. This was the last Killer Crab book of the 1970s. The first one being 1976, the second one being 1978, and this one 1979. It was a crabby sensation. I do enjoy all 3 books for different reasons. I would call this as memorable as the first, but not as action-packed as the second. I'd say this falls somewhere in between parts 1 and 2. Comparing this to the first book, I'd say it has the same kind of feels. You get the reveal of the crabs and all their shock and horror, and it is just as chilling as the original story. I liked it more than the second book, but not by too much. Overall, I give The Origin of the Crabs a 3 out of 5. I am Brian Gatto, host of Horrors Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and leave comments and subscribe.